Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to my EC Vault. And today I'm going to talk about something everybody's got. Everybody's got their obsession books. And one of mine is Mad number 3. So it's 1980. I'm 10 years old. And I've discovered EC Comics through the EC Horror Library, also known as Horror Comics of the 1950s from Nostalgia Press, also known as The Big Book. And so I'm in People's Drug and I see a Mad special with an EC logo on the cover, and I got so excited I nearly filled my pants with poo, and I couldn't buy it fast enough. And this was my introduction to Mad Comics. And this is the actual thing, the Nostalgic Mad. And these were bound into Mad magazines. There were 8 of them. This was the last one, so I got in at the end. After this, I begged, borrowed, and traded whatever I could to get the other Nostalgic Mads, because this just blew me away. But this cover has just been a huge part of my personal EC story. And this is the actual one that I ripped out of that Mad special. And other folks of my generation who bought these Mad specials know how these weren't really designed to be ripped out. And so they look like crap when you do, but this is a very sentimental comic for me. This is the first place that I saw this little vampire boy who made a huge impression on me. And this was my discovery of Harvey Kurtzman and Will Elder. And those two in the Nostalgic Mads, through the covers and then Will Elder's stories, made the biggest impression on me, I think, at that age. I just couldn't get enough of this. I loved it. So I love the EC horror comics, and then I discovered that the Mad comics were just as amazing. So this cover art, I learned later, came from Mad number 3, and that became one of my obsession books. So I want to share just a couple special issues that I've got. By a couple, I mean 3. And all 3 of these are from the personal collections of EC artists. This is Jonny Craig's copy. And Jonny Craig's copy is in beautiful condition. It's the one I'm most afraid to handle. I don't want to ever get it slabbed because I do love the thought that I could look at it if I wanted to. And here's the certificate of authenticity from the collection of Jonny Craig, signed by Roger Hill, who, as most of you know, is selling off a lot of Jonny Craig's personal collection. I actually wrote to Roger after he listed a Mad number 1 and said, "Did Jonny have a Mad number 3? Indeed he did, and I'm so very happy to have this beautiful copy of Mad number 3 from the collection of Jonny Craig. Now this copy's not as nice, it's not kept as nicely as Jonny Craig's, but it's because the guy that owned this read and loved his Mads. And this Mad was purchased at the EC offices. And it was purchased at the EC offices on a trip with Al Williamson when Al was dropping off a job. And this belonged to Al's good buddy and fellow Fleagle, Angelo Torres. So before Ange released any of his stuff online, and before he even had a website, in fact, a good friend of Ange's said to me, "Hey, Ange has his old Mad comics, and one of them is Mad number 3. I know you're obsessed with that book." And so, again, I kind of begged and cajoled and wheedled and pressured, and finally, good old Ange parted with his copy of Mad number 3, which, as you can see, very well read, very well loved. And there's Angelo Torres's certificate of authenticity that is from his collection. And he also included a real surprise that I treasure. And this is original art from Angelo Torres, and it's his interpretation of the Bat Boy from the cover. His own spin on it. Simply beautiful. Lastly, I've got a copy from the personal collection of Mad artist Will Elder. So as I said, Meshuggah made a huge impression on me when I was 10 and beyond, and it's great to have this from the collection of Bill Elder. So those are 3 copies of Mad 3 I've got that are from the personal collections of some of the EC artists. Again, one of my obsession books. And I also wanted to share a piece of art here. This is not the original art, but this was done by my good friend Gareth. And I think the cat's out of the bag now. I can probably mention that Gareth has spent a great part of his life producing the definitive documentary about Harvey Kurtzman. And I'm looking forward to that on tenterhooks and pins and needles. And I hope I can see it soon. Gareth, please but he did this using Harvey Kurtzman's own brushes. So this is a recreation of the little vampire boy done by my friend Gareth using Kurtzman's own brushes, and he posted this online for Inktober back in 2017. And again, I'm not too proud to beg, and I wanted it so bad, and I said, name your price, I'll pay anything. And his price was nothing. He sent it to me, and so thank you so much, Gareth. This hangs on my wall, and I love it. And last but not least, my good friend from high school, Drew Manley, who is now a tattoo artist in Alexandria, Virginia. And if you're in the area, you should get Drew to do some tattoos for you. But on the back of my forearm, I've got my little vampire boy there for life. So there you have it, Mad number 3, an obsession of mine. And I hope you've enjoyed this. Maybe I'll share some more of my weird personal obsessions. Tune in later.